So Matt Bowen, who's been on this show before, used to play here in Washington back in the day.
He's excellent.
He said the Rams signing wide receiver Devontae Adams is the best move. He said he's an upgrade over Cooper Kupp on his new 2-year deal. Adams can get loose against press coverage and create separation to the ball. So he likes him playing opposite Puka Nacua in the Rams offense.
And just think how close that game was against the Eagles.
Yeah.
They almost knocked off the Eagles to get into the NFC Championship game.
Yep.
And that was basically Stafford forcing everything to Puka.
Well, that's his guy.
Well,
he
yeah,
loves throwing the ball.
and the weather was horrible.
Right.
And Saquon was able to kill them on the ground.
Yeah.
So that was definitely a factor.
Jeremy Fowler ranks the Bucs signing defensive end Hassan Reddick to a 1-year deal. He thinks that's the best move that was made in free agency. So Hassan Reddick going to the Bucs, he likes that as an upgrade to their defense, to upgrade their pass rush.
Mm-hmm.
At number 3, Pamela Maldonado, who's a betting analyst for ESPN. The Vikings signing defensive tackle Jonathan Allen.
Really?
She said Minnesota's defense desperately needed disruption and toughness, especially against the run. Landing Allen at 3 years, $60 million instantly fixes that. He can stop plays cold and send quarterbacks scrambling. It's a move that reshapes the Vikings' defensive identity and significantly elevates their competitiveness in the NFC North. They also added Javon Hargrave, who was released by the Niners.
Right.
So they spent big on their interior
They went hard
defensive
for defensive line, yeah.
So she thinks that Jonathan Allen is going to reshape that Vikings defense and be a big impact player.
No votes there for Laramie Tunsil?
Well, he's not a free agent.
Yeah, he wasn't a free agent,
He's
so he did not
enough.
make this list.
Yeah.
Now,
fair enough.
Further up on the list.
because if he was a free agent, Tunsil wouldn't have been up. He would 100% been up there.
I think so.
Further
And
up on the
Debo.
list, there
Debo,
was the question, what was the biggest head scratcher during free agency? Now, Eric Moody, who's a fantasy football writer for ESPN, he said the Commanders signing defensive lineman Javon Kinlaw. The 3-year, $45 million contract was surprising, considering the depth of the 2025 draft class at defensive line. The $30 million in guaranteed money is also concerning because of Kinlaw's health and statistical production. He's played in just 58 games since being drafted in the 2020 season, with only 9.5 sacks and 74
I mean, I think it's
pressures.
safe to say that move was roundly criticized.
Yeah.
But
people
Peters,
liked it.
but Peters knows him.
Peters
was with
obviously
49ers
scouted
when
him and drafted him when he was there.
And again, it's very geeky, but it depends on how they employ him.
Yeah.
And some people believe they're going to use him often at end to stop the run.
Yeah.
So on first and second down, they might go with 3 defensive linemen, not edge rushers, so that they can stop the run. Because what was their biggest problem in the NFC Championship game? It was stopping Saquon Barkley. Now, the whole league had a problem doing that.
It was
I mean, it was a problem for them all season.
Right. They were 31st in the NFL stopping the run.
Yeah.
So I think that is what they're thinking. But ultimately, time will tell. Look, Jonathan Allen's making more money in Minnesota. He's 3 years older, and they decided to move on.
On a side note, going back to our conversation from the first hour, I think Javon Kinlaw, he could have a future working in a Chinese restaurant.
Why?
Because
Is he rude? He was very defensive in his presser, right?
I think he's going to play with a real edge because I saw him in his introductory presser, and he's not giving you anything extra. Like he is very businesslike.
Well, didn't he get into it with reporters in New
had
York?
a highly publicized skirmish with a reporter back in San Francisco.
Oh, it was in San Francisco.
Yeah, back in San Francisco. Not here yet. I'm just saying, like, there could be the potential for that because he's
a surly guy.
He just seems like he's going to play with a lot of intensity, which, look, if you're Peters, that's exactly what you want. That's the type you want, a guy that's kind of nasty on your interior of your defensive line.
Area?
He was he emigrated from Trinidad and Tobago.
Right. But
he was homeless for part, like he was hopping around like people's houses, motel rooms. Like he had a rough upbringing. Like he's not had an easy path in life.
He's allowed to be a little bitter.
Sure.
Right.
Absolutely.
Because he has ties to this area, no?
He was here for a portion of his time before he went to JUCO and before he went to South Carolina.
And he said he was a real Skins fan.
I think he was homeless here in the area.
Yes.
Yeah.
But he was grown up. I think he grew up in South Carolina.
Right. But he
went to high school there.
I'll tell you what he's going to be when you run the ball through the hole. mean. And he's gonna try to plant you into the ground as quickly as possible.
I mean, look,
he called a reporter a little DN and told him to stop effing playing with me.
Well, was that reporter calling him out for all the injuries?
I'm sure. I don't know the background of it, but he could probably use a little bit of media training from the sound of some of those quotes.
Right.
But I'm guessing Dan Quinn, Peters, they're going to have some talks with him about, look, this is a brotherhood. You got to buy in. You got to buy into our team concept. Mm-hmm. It seems like those guys have gotten through to most of the players. Like, that message is clearly resonating.
Oh, for sure.
So the reporter, I think he might have even been a YouTuber,
right,
criticized him, and Kinlaw got it. And then Kinlaw in OTAs sought him out and said, "I'm a man just like you. My nuts is bigger than yours, brother. Put some respect on my name. My balls is bigger than yours, brother."
JP, you got it. I mean,
all right, relax. Put some respect on my name.
JP's been in radio for 30 years, still doesn't know what
you
to say.
You act like you never get dumped.
Oh, I think I'm way behind you, my friend.
All I know is I walked up on you. Your effing body temperature was effing cold as ice. Straight B.
Yeah, I'm gonna guess he was younger at that point. I'm gonna guess he's learned from those mistakes. That he's not gonna have
22.
He's not gonna have an incident like that here in Washington. That he's hopefully matured a bit, got that out of the way, realized that, you know what, shouldn't have aired that dirty laundry in public.
Also, I'd say
and he'll be a model citizen.
I feel like the media here is pretty fair. Like, they're not antagonistic.
Right.
I don't know.
I don't think anybody here.
How it is in San Francisco or wherever, but
if it was some YouTuber, who knows? But look, if he didn't have any problems in New York with the media, he ain't gonna have any problems here.
Right.
I wouldn't think.
I didn't hear of any like dust ups with him in Jets media while he was playing for the Jets for one season. So. Hopefully it's just a little blip for him. A bump in the road.
Hopefully that ESPN reporter is wrong, saying that it's the worst free agent signing.
Yeah, I mean, let's hope that was money well spent and that, you know, the Commanders stopping the run rankings shoot upwards by, I don't know.
Well,
what's a realistic number? To go up by 10 or 12 spots in the rankings would be a big improvement.
Offensively, I think anything's possible.
If they got to like 18 or 20 instead of being 30th or 31st, like that would be
Let's
fantastic.
Shoot for middle. Let's shoot for 15 or better. Let's be great. Let's be average.
Overall, the defense improved from last to 13th.
Right.
Yeah.
No, that's
even with the horrible rush defense.
Right. So hopefully they take that next step in 2025, and Kinlaw is a big part of that.